Court will call 2012-273, State of Arkansas versus Blaine Stern. The court has called your case up. You're before the court this morning to be arraigned on a petition to revoke your suspended sentence. And the allegations are that on or about August 26th of 2015, you committed new felony offenses of residential burglary and theft of property, a misdemeanor, and that's a violation of your the terms and conditions of your probation. On those allegations, how do you now plead?
Not true, Your Honor.
Your Honor, those charges are in front of Judge Putnam, and I think there's a bond set in those.
Oh, okay.
And so we
In
have
this case should go to Judge Putnam as well, because he's the one who entered the previous sentencing order.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. I'm noting your plea of not true on your behalf and setting you to reappear in front of Judge Putnam on October 1st.
Okay.
All right. You
Your
may
Honor,
be excused at this time.
I think we have agreed that he would have a cash bond set on the revocation of $1,000.
That is correct, Your Honor,
All right.
because he has a bond set on the other cases
I'll set a cash bond of $1,000, cash only,
on the revocation.
on the revocation. All right. You may be excused, sir.
Thank you.
Court will call 2015-152, State of Arkansas versus Connor Fox.
Your Honor, there is no action to take in Mr. Fox's case today.
Mr. Fox's case is set down for trial December 7th. Pre-trial is set for October 22nd, and that's the next date you need to be in court.
Yes, sir.
You may be excused.
Thank you.
Next matter we have is 2013-168, State of Arkansas versus Ahmed Al-Jaishi.
Your Honor, Mr. Al-Jaishi is here. He was originally set for a change of plea today, but he has indicated to me that he is rejecting that plea at this time. So we would need to set this for trial, Your Honor.
All right. Court is going to set it. We'll set this matter for trial February 8th of 2016, and pre-trial will be set for January 7th of 2016, and I don't know that we need a reappearance, but I'll put it down for reappearance on December 3rd of 2015. That's just to check on the status of the case and make sure everything's going forward.
Understand.
We're going to have to schedule an interpreter. We don't have a proper interpreter in state, so it'll require an out-of-state interpreter to come in. So that'll take some scheduling, which is why I'm putting it off.
I understand, Your Honor.
For, you know.
And just for the record, we will take the time. The defense will take the time on this, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would like the defendant to be aware the state intends to move forward this case. We have done lots of things to try to resolve this matter, and we're ready to move forward when the court allows us to do so in this matter.
All right. It's now set for trial February 8th of 2016. All right? Very good. You may be excused. 2015-130, State of Arkansas versus Adam Bertram.
That is for a change of plea, and Mr. Bertram is here.
Mr. Bertram, you're appearing at this time for purposes of changing your plea on the charges as they're being amended pursuant to an agreement that's been worked out for you by your attorney, Mr. Cooper. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to discuss the terms of the agreement with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
So you understand the terms of the agreement and the punishment you're to receive?
That's correct.
Are you satisfied with the advice and the representation that Mr. Cooper has provided you?
Yes, sir.
On the amended charges of theft of property, a Class A misdemeanor, how do you now plead?
Guilty.
You're entering this plea of guilty pursuant to the agreement we've been discussing, and that agreement is set out in writing in this document I'm holding up called a plea statement. Have you read through and signed this plea statement?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand what's set out in the plea statement?
Yes, sir.
You then understand the nature of the charges against you and the full range of penalties you're facing?
Yes, sir.
You understand the rights that you give up or surrender by entering a plea of guilty here today?
Yes, sir.
Most important of the rights you're giving up are the right to a jury trial. You're giving up a right to be represented by an attorney and assisted by that attorney throughout the trial process. You're giving up the right to confront the witnesses that would appear and testify against you at trial. And you're giving up the right to appeal. Do you understand these rights that you're giving up?
Yes, sir.
And understanding what you're giving up, are you still willing to enter this plea of guilty?
Yes, sir.
Are you pleading guilty here today freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
Has anybody in any form or fashion forced you into this plea?
No, sir.
In entering this plea today, are you willing to admit your participation in the crime?
Yes, sir.
Are you admitting that that on or about April 29th of 2015, here in Mountain Home in Baxter County, that that you participated in the taking of some money in an amount less than $1,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there was money that didn't belong to you, is that correct?
That's correct.
Based on those statements, the court at this time will accept your plea of guilty, finding you have freely and voluntarily entered the plea, done so after consulting with your attorney, and that you've admitted to the facts that constitute the crime. On that basis, the court at this time formally adjudges you guilty of theft of property, a Class A misdemeanor, and will sentence you in accordance with the agreement in this case. On the theft of property charge, the court is placing you on probation for a period of 1 year, subject to the standard terms and conditions of misdemeanor probation of this court. Court is imposing court costs in the amount of $200, a fine of $500, a booking administration fee of $20, and an amount of restitution which the court notes is already paid in full. All of those obligations will be due and payable as a term and condition of the defendant's probation, paid at a minimum rate of $100 per month, beginning with payments to begin within 30 days of this date. The payments of $100 are to be paid as a term and condition of your misdemeanor probation. Those terms and conditions of probation are set out in writing and attached to the plea statement. The court has signed them, making it an order of the court that you comply with them. I note that you've also signed an acknowledgement to them indicating that you have read, understand, and will comply with the terms and conditions of probation. The court will direct at this time that you'll meet with your probation officer and make sure you get set up on probation, but also to make sure you go over those written terms and conditions and make sure if you have any questions about those written terms and conditions, make sure you ask the questions today, because after today you're going to be held accountable for complying with them. All right? You may be excused at this time to meet with the probation officer.